Hey guys, what is going on? Chris here with Shughead Gaming, bringing you my review for the Tetris Effect, developed by Monsters Inc. and Resonair, exclusively for PS4 and PSVR, and of course, this review will be based on the PSVR version. Releasing this November 9th for an estimated retail price of $40. Of course, that's depending on your region. An incredibly addictive, unique, and breathtakingly gorgeous reinvention of one of the most popular puzzle games of all time. Music, background, sounds, special effects, everything, down to the Tetris pieces themselves, pulse, dance, shimmer, and explode in perfect sync with how you're playing. The core of the game is still Tetris, one of the most popular puzzle games of all time, but like you've never seen it or heard it or felt it before. As always guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing, and for updates, hit that bell icon. As always, graphics are up first. Yes, I was guilty of seeing Tetris announced at E3 for PSVR and literally shaking my head at the idea why anyone would bring Tetris to VR. After all, we didn't buy expensive VR headsets to play the same game we all played on our Game Boys while pooping. Well, I can safely say this idea was immediately erased after only a few short rounds inside the headset. Visually, the Tetris Effect is stunning, with sharp visuals, bright dynamic colors, and not a jagged edge in sight. Yes, this looks like the Tetris you remember, but the magic is what happens around you. 30 unique levels all bring a completely different visual style that dynamically responds to your gameplay, offering some absolutely stunning moments as the world completely shifts and flows around you. In fact, the game can be so fantastic visually that I often found myself completely screwed in my game due to my gazing off at the amazing display all happening around me. Trust me when I say, that moment you had in Astrobot when going underwater, you know the one. Well, Tetris has at least a dozen, if not more, moments on that same level. Lighting, particle effects, and the sheer scale of the surrounding levels are all on full display here, and definitely give the Tetris Effect the AAA polish we so often hope to see in VR, but seldom do. And that brings us to sound. Who would have thought that a Tetris game would be a contender for Best Music for 2018? The Tetris Effect absolutely astounded me in the way it used music with its visuals to totally immerse the player in an almost zen-like state. Themes and the visuals are mixed in and amplified by the musical score as it dynamically ebbs and flows based on your in-game performance. Many levels start with a slow rhythmic beat growing slowly as you begin completing lines. As you reach a certain completion, and often happening on a multi-level clear, the music all of a sudden explodes into a full-on EDM tune. The effect this has when combined with the bursting and dynamic visuals creates an experience that can almost be described as orgasmic to the gamer's soul. Environment effects join in on the party, bringing yet another immersion level to the experience. A perfect example of this was in an underwater stage where the whale song from the whales swimming in the water blended seamlessly into the musical mix. Additionally, your block movements on screen, whether moving left or right or spinning all around, all have a musical or sound effect attached to them, allowing your gameplay to contribute to the music, giving you an almost Electronauts vibe as every movement you make is made to sound in tune, on time, and amazing. The total soundscape the Tetris Effect creates is simply stunning, as it really becomes one with the visuals and the gameplay, elevating the whole experience to something truly special. Gameplay is up next. Tetris is literally one of the most successful video games of all time. First available in 1984, Tetris has gone on to sell over 170 million copies across almost all consoles, computers, and phones. In my opinion, Tetris has always been at its core about two things. The first and most obvious is its addicting gameplay that has rarely deviated from its core mechanics in over 30 years. The second has been the almost zen-like meditative effect the game can have on players. Over the years, Tetris has included a multitude of modifiers and tweaks to the gameplay, but here in the Tetris Effect, the developers have largely left the core gameplay alone and instead doubled down on the zen-like qualities of Tetris, and as a result, creating what is easily the most immersive Tetris game to date and also quite possibly the best. The Tetris Effect has two primary modes on tap. The main event here is Journey Mode, which is effectively a campaign mode, taking the player through a roadmap of 27 unique levels, or should I call them experiences. The Journey Mode focuses primarily on delivering the core experience of Tetris, and despite some speed modifiers popping up here and there to keep you on your toes, the game steers mostly clear of any heavy modifiers. Over the course of Journey Mode, players will unlock new levels, music tracks, and in-game avatars. These can be used on the online mode. Once players have completed the 8+ hours of campaign, players can look to that online portion, and that looks to strive to build a community with upcoming weekend challenges called Weekend Rituals. In addition, there's also a leaderboard, but maybe most importantly, players should check out the Effect Mode. It is here that players will find much of the extended replay value. Effect Mode is divided into 4 categories: Relax, Focus, Classic, and Adventurous. The Relax category includes modes like the Chill Marathon, which tasks players with clearing 150 lines but won't give players a game over if their stack reaches the top of the board. Relax mode also includes a quick play option and 3 themed playlists. Focus game modes are designed to make players hate their lives and relish their inner OCD. Each puzzle starts off easy but quickly becomes very difficult as players race against a countdown clock. The Focus category also includes Combo mode, in which players strive to keep a scoring combo going, and Target mode, requiring players to clear specific blocks as they clear lines. Classic mode is, well, it's classic mode. The Adventurous category is where Tetris really brings in the modifiers and begins to really mess with the core gameplay of Tetris. Here, players will tackle such mods as oversized blocks, oddly shaped blocks, or even play the game inverted. I strongly recommend all who purchase this to make a point though to try Mystery Mode, as this is where Tetris really relishes messing with players. So yes, this is Tetris, the game you know, the comfort food of the video game world, if you will. However, it is when you combine the visuals, the sound, and the amazing rhythmic haptic feedback in the controller that it all comes together with the gameplay to create an experience you really must try to understand why it works and why it's important for VR. The Tetris effect is controlled with the DS4 and played seated. Minimal room is required and motion sickness should be at a minimum, but be warned guys, the Tetris effect is actually an incredibly intense visual experience, and for those with weak VR legs, be aware and look to the options menu as you can turn down some of the effects to soften the blow. And that brings us to fun factor in my final review. The Tetris effect is awesome in VR. In fact, outside of VR, the Tetris effect is a much tamer affair and has a much harder time justifying its existence in this iteration. As you know, I rate games on a scale of buy, wait for a sale, or burn it to the ground. If you don't like Tetris, this likely will not change your mind as, yeah, it's still Tetris. But for those who have enjoyed it in the past, or for the few Tetris virgins still out there, this game could really surprise you. I know it did for me. This is a buy for me, but it is a bit on the pricey side for a visual upgrade to a 30-year-old title. If you're really on the fence about this, maybe wait for a sale, but I really think those that take the plunge will actually find maybe one of their favorite PSVR games. That's it for me guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more PSVR content from me, you know the deal, please consider subscribing. And for updates, hit that bell icon. I will catch you guys on my next video.